Imagine your favorite pick'em app, except without predatory odds, better payouts, and more options to choose from than ever before. That's exactly what Epic's new Picks Mode is all about. And no, this is not just another sports book. This is simplified gameplay, 100% peer-to-peer. In this video, I'm going to take you through the exact gameplay, how to play from both the picker's perspective and the fader's perspective. You guys will quickly learn how Epic's new Picks Mode is completely different than any other pick'em game mode you've ever played in the industry. What I'm going to do is navigate you through the web version, not the mobile app. There is a web version and also a mobile app. They look very similar. As you can see here on the web page, everything is kind of stretched out, right? We have our navigation menu on the left side, as well as our pick'em menu and also our fade'em menu. We're going to walk through the pick'em menu first. At the very top of the pick'em menu, you're going to see a selection menu for various leagues, whether it's MLB, NHL, NFL. You get to decide what player props to choose from. Right below that, you're going to see categories displaying specific player prop categories. Also with a popular menu. The popular menu are the most popular player props selected by other potential opponents. And there's definitely no issue in selecting the exact same player props that other players have also taken. For instance, I see that Matthew Stafford here at 250.5 passing yards has a multiplier of 1.88 if he were to hit the over. The goal here is to predict accurately what player props are going to go over or under their projection. Because Matthew Stafford's right here at the very top, I'll just go ahead and select his over of 250.5 passing yards. That individual player prop, if he were to hit the over, is worth 1.88x. The rules state that you have to select 2 or more player props for this to be a valid lineup. This is very similar in comparison to any other pick'em app. However, you'll also notice 1.88x is very aggressive. It's actually a very good price tag when comparing to other pick'em apps like Prize Picks or Underdog. And just because Joe Flacco plays tomorrow, I'll go ahead and select the over of Joe Flacco. Also, at a 1.88x, his projection set to 238.5. So in order for me to win, and in order for me to win money, what I would have to do is combine these two player props by selecting them both, and then clicking Confirm Picks on the bottom. And as you can see here, it brings me to the next tab. I'm going to go ahead and move my head over here, the webcam over, let's say here, and input a dollar amount of $5. As you can see here, when I combine these two player props together, gives me a total multiplier of 3.52x, or turning $5 into $17.60. This would reflect the total payout if both of these players were to go over their projection at 1.8x per projection. So what I'm going to do to lock in this entry is go ahead and click play for $17.60. As you can see, this is my confirmation screen, lineup submitted, $5 play, 3.52x multiplier to turn $5 into $17.60. And it's literally that easy. So in order to win, I simply have to have both these players hit the overs in their respective contests. And unfortunately, I would lose my entry if either one of these players did not go over their respective projections. Again, this is just like any other parlay format or any other pick'em type game mode. Now, where this is completely different in terms of the underlying gameplay is when you peel back the layers and you actually look at how these payouts are distributed to other players. For instance, let's take another competitor like Prize Picks. When you submit a lineup on Prize Picks, that lineup goes straight to the house, meaning the action is taken from the house. If you were to lose that entry, your entire entry fee would go straight to Prize Picks itself. However, Epic does not actually pose as a house, meaning that when you select these two players and you hit confirm, you're actually going to be put into a pool where other players can actually fade your lineups. Fading meaning that they can pick the opposite of your two projections. And if your entry were to lose, your entry fee would go to a player as opposed to a company like Prize Picks. See, Epic just facilitates the action between the players. I'm going to head back to the home screen now and show you exactly how to fade other players' lineups and what this actually looks like. So to simply see other lineups that other players have entered, you're going to go back to the Picks menu. Here, this should look familiar. You see a Pick'em and a Fade'em tab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Fade'em tab. And this is going to display all the lineups that have been previously submitted by other users. What you'll quickly notice is that your lineup doesn't show in your Fade'em screen because obviously you can't accept your own action. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to front the action of the winning users, the potential amount that they have to win. For instance, you can see this first lineup here, Isaac K71 submitted. We're going to go ahead and click on the details. On the confirmation screen, you'll notice a couple of things. First and foremost, you'll notice the players that the user selected in their lineup, along with the projections and their over or under projection for that specific player. Here you can see 3 different esports players. I believe they're all CS2. He projected 2 of them to hit their over and 1 of them to hit their under. You'll see highlighted right next to those, it says me being the user that is fading this lineup. And by default, we'll be taking the opposite of his picks. And at the very top, if you read the directions, it says, get 1 or more picks correct to receive the total payout. The way that this looks is you'll be fronting $127.93 while your opponent will be fronting his entry fee of $25. In order for him to win, he has to get all 3 picks right, turning $25 into $127.93. You, however, only need him to miss 1 single pick or to get 1 of your picks right. Since you're fading, you're taking the opposite of your opponent's. It's the exact same concept of housing a bet or being a sportsbook itself. Instead, you'll turn $127.93 into $150.63. Because you're taking on lower risk, you only need 1 player to miss from his lineup to get the payout. Your payout is not as lucrative. But because his entry carries a lot more risk, his payout is going to be more substantial, obviously, than yours. So you'll be simply housing this player's bet. If you feel comfortable fading this player's lineup, then you're simply going to go to the bottom and click play for $150.63. Or you can challenge duplicate lineups, meaning that this player has actually entered this lineup numerous times. You can accept all entry fees of that exact same player with the exact same lineup. This, of course, is if you have a really good opportunity to fade multiple lineups with the exact same lineup. If you decide that you don't want to do that, you can simply uncheck these lineups and just accept the one person's lineup for $150.63. And that, in a nutshell, is exactly how to fade other users' lineups. I also want to show you a good example of being able to partially fade other lineups. Meaning that if you actually don't want to front the entire amount, in this example of $52.73, I can go for a smaller amount. Let's say I only want to enter $40. I have the opportunity to do that, turn $40 into $58.48. If for whatever reason you want to fade another person's lineup and you don't like their picks, you don't have to front the entire amount that we default to. If you have a smaller bankroll, this allows you to fade other players' lineups with a smaller bankroll. And that's it. It is pick 'em with a twist. It is 100% peer-to-peer, and it creates a level playing field for both the pickers and the faders. This is the only pick 'em skill-based app that allows you to be the house. EPICK's new Picks Mode puts full control in the player's hands. And like I said in the original statement, it takes away the predatory odds and allows players to play against one another to collect the entry fees. This puts less money in the sportsbook's pockets and more money in yours.